The dial of destiny in real life, the Antikythera mechanism. If you've seen the movie Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, you'll recognize the legendary artifact created by Archimedes, the Dial of Destiny. In the film, this device is a sort of time-traveling compass. It identifies fissures in time, portals in the sky, and calculates exactly when and where they will open. Using this device, Indiana Jones travels through a rift and ends up in the ancient city of Syracuse, 2,180 years ago, right in the middle of a war against the Roman army. But would you believe it if I told you this impossible magic machine actually exists? It is the Antikythera mechanism, the world's first analog computer built over 2,000 years ago, a piece of lost technology that was 1,500 years ahead of its time. The legendary artifact in Indiana Jones was actually modeled after this very device. The discovery, a treasure ship in the deep. Let's dive into the details. In April 1900, near the tiny island of Antikythera, northwest of Crete, a diver discovered a shipwreck at a depth of about 45 meters. It was clear at a glance that this wasn't an ordinary wreck. It was loaded with artifacts, including white marble statues. It was a literal treasure ship. The find was immediately reported to the Athenian authorities, and the Royal Hellenic Navy was dispatched for a massive salvage operation. Investigations suggested the ship dates back to approximately 70 BC. It was likely a Roman looting ship that sank while heading toward Rome. Among the treasures were a massive Hercules statue over 2 meters tall, exquisite jewelry and glassware, an ancient bronze stringed instrument called a lyre. Hidden among these riches was a corroded, circular bronze lump. It was so badly decayed that no one dared touch it. It was simply tossed into a junk box and sent to a museum warehouse. Decades later, Professor Derek J. Price, a physicist and historian of science at Yale, had a hunch. Wait, this hunk of metal has gear teeth and faint inscriptions. This isn't a decoration, it's a complex machine. Hashtag the revelation. An analog computer. In 1971, Professor Price collaborated with Charalampos Karakalos to perform X-ray and gamma-ray scanning. The results were shocking. Inside that rusty lump were over 30 intricate bronze gears meshed together with the precision of a clock. Price announced to the academic world, "This device is not just an artifact. It is a machine made by ancient Greeks to calculate the movements of celestial bodies, the oldest analog computer in the world." The complexity was on par with 18th century Swiss watchmaking, despite being 2,000 years old. It was a device that completely defied its era. How it works, a universe in your hands. Through X-rays in the 70s, CT scans in the 2000s, and 3D digital modeling in the 2020s, the mechanism has been reconstructed. It looks like a thick clock with a hand crank on the side. The bronze plates covering the front and back are inscribed with over 3,000 characters, essentially a user manual explaining its astronomical principles. Since the original name of the device was lost to history, it was named after its discovery site, the Antikythera mechanism. The front side, real-time space tracking. The front features a 365-day Egyptian calendar and the 12 signs of the zodiac. When you turn the crank to a specific date, the gears grind into motion to show the state of the cosmos. 3 goosebump-inducing details include planet tracking. It tracked the sun, the moon, and the 5 known planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, in real time. 3D moon phase. A small black and white ball rotated to visually show if the moon was full, crescent, or new. Lunar variable speed. Because the moon's orbit is elliptical, its speed changes. This machine actually used a specialized gear system to replicate that minute change in velocity. The back side, an astronomical navigation system. The back features 2 large dials. The upper dial reconciled the 365-day solar year with the lunar calendar using a 19-year cycle, the Mechani cycle, ensuring the calendar stayed in sync with the seasons. The lower dial, an eclipse alarm that predicted exactly when solar and lunar eclipses would occur. Who built it? The mystery of the creator. While there's no signature, there are 2 leading theories. The Rhodes theory. Many believe it was made around 150 BC on the island of Rhodes. At the time, Rhodes was the Silicon Valley of ancient astronomy and engineering, home to the great astronomer Hipparchus. The evidence: a small subdial on the back lists the 4 Panhellenic Games, Olympics, Pythian, Nemean, Isthmian, but it also includes a local festival called Heliea, which honored the sun god Helios, the patron of Rhodes. This suggests it was custom-made for a wealthy citizen of Rhodes. The Archimedes theory. 1st century Roman politician Cicero wrote that he saw a planetary device built by Archimedes. For years, scholars laughed this off as ancient exaggeration, but once this machine was pulled from the sea, the laughter stopped. However, there's a catch. The mechanism's lunar calculations follow the theories of Hipparchus, who lived after Archimedes. Unless Archimedes hopped in a time machine, the timeline doesn't quite fit. Conclusion: a 1,500-year leap. Whether it was a genius from Rhodes or a later scholar building on Archimedes' blueprints, we don't truly know. It remains a mystery. Complex gear work of this level didn't reappear in human history until the 14th century in medieval Europe. The truly chilling part? We only have 1/3 of the device. The other 2/3 of the core components are lost forever. If the machine were 100% intact, there's no telling what else it could calculate. Perhaps, even now, other ancient high-tech devices are sleeping silently at the bottom of the dark ocean.